activity plan work group. And this meeting is being recorded. I just got a notification. So if that is an issue, unfortunately, you should probably leave. But we do record these meetings just for record. My name is Jen Jutt. I'm the Superintendent of Community Services for Casey Parks. And I'll kick it over to you, Allison.
Yeah, I'm the Corporate Community Wellness Coordinator for Johnson County Park and Recreation District. And I'm also a co-chair with Jen for this Park and Rec Sector Working Group. And we have a whole bunch of other cool new speakers coming up as well too. And then I'm gonna let Katie or Natalie take it away before we get to Mallory.
I'll go first and then I'll kick it over to Natalie, but my name is Katie Amy. I'm with the Kansas City Healthy Lifestyles Collaborative, and I help to support one of our initiatives, the Kansas City Physical Activity Plan. And within that, we have our sector groups, one being the Parks and Rec sector, and I just help support that. So Natalie, I'll pass it over to you.
Sure. My name's Natalie Updike. I also support several sectors of our Kansas City Physical Activity Plan and work with Katie and Dr. Shook and Shelly Summer and the Kansas City Healthy Lifestyles Collaborative. I also help with some of these meetings. I don't know if Katie mentioned, but we had some security issues with some of our other sector meetings and people taking over the meetings and the screens. So that's why we've added the waiting room prior to the meetings to kind of double check that we know everyone joining.
And then I think what we can do, what we normally do is just kind of popcorn around and say who you are, what organization you're here with. So I think that we can do that. If you do not have a microphone, I know that sometimes is the case, you can just kind of type into the chat. So before we get to you, Mallory, I'm just going to kind of popcorn really quickly, and then we'll kind of let you get going in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to popcorn over to, oh, I know who I want to popcorn to. Sharonda Stoneham, if you've got a microphone.
Can you hear me, Jen? We can't hear you, Jen.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I got Jessica here. I'm gonna let her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Jessica Brown, and I'm the Recreation Director over here at Garrison Community Center.
And then what we'll do is we'll just have you choose someone else to introduce themselves, and then at the end of your introduction.
Let's go with Mallory.
You'll be hearing a lot from me later, so I'll just go on to the next person and I'll do Amanda.
Thanks, Mallory. I'm Amanda. I'm the Recreation Assistant Supervisor at Blue Valley Recreation. I will popcorn over to Kara.
Hi, I'm Kara, and I'm a Recreation Supervisor at the City of Gardner. All popcorn to Mary Kate.
Hi, I'm Mary Kate. I'm the Fitness Coordinator at Blue Valley Recreation. I'm going to pop over to Nicole.
Hi, everybody. Nicole Brown. I'm with Johnson County Department of Health and Environment, and I'll send it to Yolanda.
Yolanda, I see you're off mute, but we cannot hear what you're saying. Okay, it seems like, Yolanda, you might have some technical difficulties or problems connecting to the audio, so I'm gonna kick it over to Jace. Oh, no, he's not quite there yet. Bonnie.
Hi, good morning. I'm Bonnie from Mercer County Health Department up here in the northern part of the state. And I do public health, home health, and also working with maternal child activities. So thank you. I choose, oh boy, who hasn't gone yet?
Laura hasn't gone yet, if you want to popcorn to her.
I'll popcorn to Laura. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Laura Fisher, and I am the volunteer coordinator for Johnson County Park and Recreation. And Jason, if you can introduce yourself to everyone, that's what we're doing right now.
Hi, is this working?
Yes.
Okay, I'm Jason Wilkinson. I'm the recreation supervisor at Gardner Parks and Rec. I mainly do all the sports programs except for soccer, and I run one event called the Gardner Grind. Now do I ask somebody else?
Yes, and you came in a little late, so I think we're still, we only got a couple people left. T. Bartles and I think Mary Kate and maybe Kara Pine. I don't know if you've heard from
Nope.
them.
Just T. Bartles is left.
Okay, great.
All right, then T. Bartles, you're up next.
Hi guys, I'm Tatum with Bonner Springs Parks and Recreation. I'm the recreation coordinator here for sports. And yeah, I run all of our different youth through adult sport programs and some different fitness aspects of our recreation programs here. So welcome.
All right, that should be everybody. Thank you everyone for jumping on the call today. We really do appreciate your time. Katie, do we have any other updates we need to share with the group before we let Mallory take the show?
No, I think we'll have Mallory go first and then we'll do any other updates. That's okay.
Perfect. All right, Mallory, it is all you, and I would say all the good things about you, but I'd be talking forever. So I'll let you go.
Okay, let me share my screen. Give me one moment here. Okay, are you seeing the pickleball, the fastest growing sport in the nation screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. All right, so I'm sure a lot of you have already heard this saying before, but I'm going to talk about pickleball today and why it's the fastest growing sport in the nation. So I do recognize a lot of faces in here, so I'm sorry or names as well. So I'm sorry if you've heard some of this before, but it's always a good idea and reminder of what's going on with pickleball. So my name is Mallory Osier. Thank you guys so much for having me today. I am the recreation coordinator for Johnson County Park and Recreation District's 50+ program. I have been with the district for a little over 9 years now, and within the 50+ department for 7 years. A big portion of my job involves pickleball. It's kind of become one of my passion projects. I've done some other programs like this where I present on pickleball throughout the state for KRPA. Each year I typically offer between 3 and 4 tournaments, coordinate a variety of lessons. I assist with different leagues, all while I'm still trying to keep my weekly drop-in pickleball people happy, which can sometimes be a challenge. Before we dive in today, I do want to ask a few questions to the group. If you just want to give a thumbs up or in the comment box of kind of who has ever heard of pickleball. Hopefully, if we're all in Parks and Rec or a similar job we have. So give me a thumbs up if you're on, or give me a thumbs up in the message box, chat box. Let me see if I can pull that up. All right, so we have a few people familiar with it. I'm sure you've heard me talk about it before. Does anybody offer pickleball at your location currently? Just give me a yes or a thumbs up. Heck yeah, how do I get this program out of here? All right, and then a few other questions. Does anybody have any concerns with offering programming within your pickleball, within your location? So I can answer those later, but just talk a little bit about some of your concerns because there are some hot topics that do involve pickleball. Okay, I do think it's important to see a little bit of the timeline and history within pickleball. A lot of people think it's something that kind of came out of the pandemic, but it's actually been around a lot or earlier than we think. So 1965, the sport pickleball was created in the backyard of Brain Ridge, Washington by a group of friends. So basically a group of friends got together because they were bored, needing something to do. Joel Pritchard, Bill Bell, and Joey Barney were the three main creators of the sport. It actually started out in an old badminton court, and they just began making up the rules. I also think it's kind of funny to hear the history of the name of the sport. There are two stories that go around about the name of pickleball. The first one is that the sport's name was created based off of the person that created the sport. Their family dog's name was Pickles, and people say that he was chasing after the balls, and so that's how pickleball was named. But they actually got pickles after the sport was first created, so that's really not the true origin of the name. Pritchard's wife, Joan, named named it after pickle boats and crew, also known as rowing. The boat would often be the least competitive boat in the race, with a crew that was thrown together at random. It makes for a fitting name because the sport was kind of put together with leftover equipment and also from other sports that already made. So I think that's some fun history just to know about pickleball. In 1990, it took roughly 25 years for the sport to be played in all 50 states. In 2008, pickleball JCPRD began programming at Tomahawk Ridge Community Center. This is a partnership that we have with the city of Overland Park. I believe the materials came from a donation from Pickleball Central. There's also stories that they used to use buckets and just badminton nets just to get the sport going because people were interested in it at the time. 2 years later, in 2010, JCPRD hosted our first pickleball tournament. And then in 2019, Meadowbrook Park was created, and this was one of our first outdoor pickleball courts in Prairie Village. Now we continue to offer programs throughout Johnson County. Tournament numbers have dropped off in recent years. We used to be one of the only locations that was running tournaments at different locations at Blue Valley, Tomahawk, all over the county. But due to saturation within pickleball tournaments, they have kind of gone down in numbers, but everything else is just as popular as ever. Some overall benefits. So pickleball isn't only fun, but it also has some health benefits as well, which is important to know if you're trying to bring these programs into your communities. People who play pickleball do see improvements within their balance, their hand-eye coordination, and flexibility. You're going to see improvements within your heart health, and it prevents osteoporosis. I like to say something when I'm playing pickleball is you don't really realize you're getting a workout at the time, but I've seen people come in and they've become stronger. They start out in our drop-in programs, and then they go into our tournaments and they just become healthier and healthier over time. It also boosts mood and mental health. That's always an important subject right now. And then increases social interactions and connections as well. I've heard stories of people creating lifelong friendships. We have a group of people that meet every Tuesday for Talk of Tuesday afterwards. We have people that go to happy hours afterwards. I've even heard of a few love connections that have stemmed from some of our pickleball. So it can also be used as your dating app. Just look at these pictures. You can see everybody's smiling, of course, until I give them the wrong balls and they don't want those. And then that's a different presentation for you guys today. So a little bit about programming. There's a few different options you can do. And just depending on how deep you want to dive into it, there's a little bit of everything for every location. So Drop-in pickleball, I would say, is probably the easiest way to get started. If you have court space, indoor or outdoor, even sometimes people just use empty lots and things like that. If that's all you have, those are all things that you can do. All you need is a space, materials, and a schedule when it's happening. And basically, if you build it, they will come with drop-in pickleball. The next thing that you can do are lessons. These are a great way to build your program and continue growth. I would say the next step is also leagues. These create a little bit more friendly competition, a little bit more of a community. Another thing you can do is socials. Sometimes we mix our drop-ins with our socials. So we'll have meals afterwards, just thanking our patrons for coming out. It's a good time for them to kind of talk to you about concerns they're having. And then it's just a different way to kind of put more low pressure on pickleball. Probably the highest pressure thing you can do is tournaments, but we try to keep ours in a recreational base. We don't take sanctions or anything like that for our tournaments. We try to keep it as rec-based as we can to keep it fun for people. And then probably the trendiest topic right now is youth programming in pickleball. I know it's been in schools for a while, but now finally students are kind of taking it outside of school and doing it on the weekends with family as it's kind of grown its popularity. Some resources I have for you today, and I also have a handout if you need it of different pickleball resources to kind of help you go. The number one I would say is the USA Pickleball website. This has everything you need on it, from rules to trending topics to where you can find where to play pickleball. Pretty much this is the best way for you to stay up to date within pickleball. There was a funny thing on this site. There was actually a JCPRD, the Meadowbrook, had a picture on it one day, and I was like, did they steal our picture? So that's kind of a fun tidbit about that website. Another important one is the USA Pickleball Places to Play. This is how you can find where places in your community have pickleball. You can also update your courts as well. I try to go in there every so often and update the courts we have, just so, because it's growing so much. And I will talk about this a little bit more on the next slide. Pickleball Central or Wholesale Pickleball. If you're interested in getting started, I would say this is a great place to go for your materials. This is probably the best distributor there is in the game. I remember about 6-7 years ago when I first started, there was only a few options of pickleballs. There was only a few options of paddles, but now the options are really endless. And if you are interested in doing the wholesale, that's a good option to save on prices as well. Facebook groups is a great way to stay connected within the community. Pickleball, KC Pickleball is one, Lenexa Pickleball is another, KC Pickleball Addicts. These are all great ways to promote your program, see what's going on in the community, finding different partners for events. It's also a great way to kind of get feelers on, sometimes there are groups within your community and there will be feedback going on within those groups. So staying connected is really important. And then also the pickleball community. These are the people that you want to stay connected with. They're the people that are going to be coming with you with concerns. They're going to have ideas for you. I would say it's best to keep good relationships with these people, work collaboratively, and then just keep an open line of communication. Places to play in Johnson County. So I'm located in Johnson County. So that's kind of where I have my locations and the most familiar. There are so many that are popping up every day that I might have missed a few, but these are kind of your big hitters throughout Johnson County. Most of these places have at least 2 courts, if not more. Some of them you'll notice are outdoor courts, and the outdoor courts are really popping up more frequently now, as there's been more feedback. There's been a lot of stuff coming out where Overland Park is the place to play pickleball. So there has definitely been more courts popping up there. You'll even see a for-profit down in the corner there, and these are some more familiar locations for some people where people can go pay to play. You'll probably have your more high level pickleball tournaments there. At Elite Tennis this summer, there was just a pro tournament with PPA, so that was exciting for the community. And I'm sure we'll see even more of these growing as well. And the locations that you see in green, those are locations that we oversee. We do have some locations that we work with. So we do a pickleball tournament out of Lenexa Community Center. That's a collaborative effort with Lenexa Parks and Recreation. I have one coming up here in February where I'm working with Blue Valley at Hilltop, and that's another collaborative pickleball tournament we have. And then we also have one with the Powell Community Center, so City of Mission. We also are out there playing some pickleball. And then the green, Matt Ross and Tomahawk are locations that I oversee right now. Meadowbrook Park, one of our newest outdoor locations, and then New Century Fieldhouse. So we're a little bit all over Johnson County. And then of course, there's that site where you can look these locations up. I will say it doesn't stay as updated as it probably should be. All right, so that's my quick spiel about pickleball. Of course, I could always go a lot farther in depth with things. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'm always excited to talk about it, and I try to stay up to date with what's going on within the community, within the websites and things like that. Does anybody have any questions?
Mallory, I don't have a question per se, but I'd be interested in that handout you mentioned. It might be something that we can include in our newsletter, so I'd appreciate it.
Okay, awesome.
I'll put my email in the chat.
And Mallory, I've got a question, and this isn't necessarily for JCPRD, but it might be for some other groups that I've been talking to on the side. What would be the best recommendation on how to get a pickleball court like built at one of your centers and or convert existing tennis courts that aren't being utilized into a pickleball court? What would be like the best resources for that?
It usually comes down to community pressure. So the more that, because I can say it till I'm blue in the face that we need courts here, we need that. But once it comes down to the community saying it and the people that are really wanting it and rallying around it, I think that's usually the most important. So if you could get a public survey out there or something like that to show that this is something the community needs, that's usually, I've seen the most success within getting courts. Or even getting your courts taped or starting programs, really any of it.
So when you guys have the pickleball tournament out at New Century Fieldhouse, you go out, are those lines permanent out at New Century or do you put tape down for those?
So they used to be taped and then our budget was doing so well out there that we were able to get them permanently lined. So nice. That's typically a 6 to 12 court tournament, depending on popularity. We have 6 permanent courts and then another 6 will be taped for that.
Okay, cool. So then if we have like, and I'm not saying JCPRD, I'm talking about for other sites. I'm secretly getting into pickleball, but I live in Lawrence. So I'm trying to find more indoor courts in Lawrence because I don't want to play outside and pull any more muscles or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty easy to convert a basketball court into a pickleball court. And I know some other sites, what does it matter what time of day they're hosting some of these open play or anything, or?
Kind of depends on the group of people you're trying to focus on. A lot of my stuff is I have to be between certain contract hours, and you're always battling between youth sports with these programs because they're usually number one. So if you do have a space that is quieter in the morning, I mean, you could always open that up to 50 plus or all age crowds in the morning for people that may not be working. And then evenings, I hear a cry out all the time for evening play. It's just really hard to find in the winter. With so many outdoor courts opening, more players are coming out. So these winter months have been really hard on people. I've started to pay to play places just because I can't find anywhere. Like Mission does some stuff in the mornings and things like that. That's just where my location is. I know Lenexa does, Blue Valley. So
I would say pickleball, it's safe to say that's considered a lifelong sport. You can always play that at no matter what age.
yeah, we have players up to like 90, 93 playing out at New Century. So there's always some safety concerns, but as long as you're doing what you're supposed to within the sport, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, there's usually not any problems.
Nice. Thanks.
So here is my contact information. I love pickleball, love playing, love talking about it. I'm looking for a partner. My partner just moved away. So if anybody is out there looking to play, please contact me.
I'll go play, but tournament wise, I'm still not very good yet.
No, I'm just here to play in the evenings. I don't do tournaments. That's too high pressure for me.
Okay, I'll start bringing my paddle to work, and then we can go after work sometime. That would be awesome.
Yeah, corporate challenge is about as high pressure as I go.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I do have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
So I've ran a couple tournaments previously, and just trying to gauge what you think on like, do you have them like rank themselves when they sign up? In the past, I've had them do like their scale. It's like 1, 1.5, 2.5, all that. But half the time they're like, I don't know what I am, or some of them are so intense. They're like, oh, I'm hardcore 4, and they're not.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you just have them sign up and just like hope for the best, or do you do rankings? How do you kind of go about that?
There has always been an issue within the ranking system, and I mean, that's always been a problem. There is a resource within that USA Pickleball Association website where it kind of just explains rankings and what they can be. It's always been self-ranking for us since we are recreational, but there's also DUPR, DUPR ratings now that people can go off of, and that can be based off of number of wins. I mean, they do have to be in DUPR tournaments and things like that, DUPR drop-in leagues, and that's how they can get ranked. But that's probably the best way to do it. If I will say, if somebody's in a tournament and they self-rank as 3-5, I won't let them go back to a 3-0 if they've said that they're a 3-5. So making sure they're staying within their rank. They can't play down, but you can always play up situation.
Okay, great. And then following on to that, what would be, do you run tournaments like mixed doubles, or do you do like same gender, or like what's your best turnout? Because I've always ran like co-ed doubles, but some people are like, well, I can't find a partner and all that. So I just didn't know kind of what's been most popular for you.
Yeah, when we started out, or I guess within recent years, we always do gender, and then those are broken down within ratings, and then we do mixed portion in the afternoon. So it gives more options. I will say tournaments have been pretty saturated within my area. I'm like in Overland Park, so it's probably the most popular area for tournaments now. So it's been hard, but we really try to set ourselves aside by doing like a 50+ tournament or doing a social tournament. I do a paddles and pies situation, so it's low pressure. So trying to look within your community and what's being offered and trying to do something else. I've even thought about mixing it up and just doing mixed or open is what they call it too, is just to get the numbers and just to get your tournament to run. To do an open tournament, well, I would probably still rank people out, but you could have like 2 women playing a man and a woman, or a situation like that.
Okay, that's a good idea. Just have them sign up with whoever they normally maybe play with, and then
yeah. So it breaks it down, so you're not breaking it down too much where you could still get your tournament to run, but you definitely want to have that communication beforehand.
With the participants.
They need to know what they're signing up for.
Okay, cool. Thanks for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm always open for questions, so reach out, give me a call if you ever have any questions about pickleball.
Thanks, Mallory. You were amazing. You continue to be our go-to pickleball guru in all things pickleball. So thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. And Katie, I'm gonna let you take the deal.
I love how you have the confidence to leave the awkward silence. That was one of my pandemic virtual meeting go-tos, is just leaving a little bit of silence, because inevitably after about 10 seconds, somebody gets uncomfortable and decides to ask a question or say something.
That's me. I have to count to 10 in my head before I say anything. Otherwise I get too excited and I'll talk all day. So I've gotten
I'm
better.
okay if you want to keep talking, that's fine.
Nope.
I was just gonna hop in and maybe talk about just the rest of the agenda and the group updates that we have. We do have a meeting coming up with the KC Healthy Lifestyles Collaborative. The quarterly meeting will be on March 14th at 9 a.m. Information about that is, I think Katie will probably drop it in the chat, but there is a form to fill out if you are interested in attending that meeting. All are welcome to attend. And Katie, do you have any additional information you'd like to add to that?
Not yet. So this is more like save the date. We're still trying to identify a speaker, but we should have that here within the next week or so.
All right, awesome. And then a note about implementation applications. So for those of you that may have not attended a park sector meeting before, or a KC physical activity plan meeting, each sector is allowed to award money for implementation projects or take action steps that relate to the KC physical activity plan. And our sector, each sector has been awarded $15,000, and our sector currently has $14,970. So we did spend about $30. And so we are always accepting those applications. If you would like an application, you can reach out to Katie, myself, or Allison, and we will make sure to get that to you. If you have any organizations that you think would be a good fit, we just ask that, you know, these asks are in line with the goals and objectives of the physical activity plan, which oftentimes in Parks and Rec with ourselves and our partners, they are. And this would be the time where if we had any applications to review, we would review in the group. This month, we do not have any applications, so we're hoping for some to come in, as we do have some dollars that we can kind of award out to different initiatives. Does anybody have any questions about the implementation project and application process?
And I was gonna say, if you guys aren't sure and you have questions and you want to talk about it later, you can ask either of us. That's totally fine. We can always meet with you one-on-one, and we can also help you guys fill out that application as well, just to let you know, hey, this is what they're looking for. And also, as you noticed, only $30 was spent, and that is a very odd small amount. You can request funding for up to what you think might be spent. So the reason why it was only $30 is because I had applied for our WeLinks youth golf tournament for a corporate challenge to be covered, and I had asked for, I think, up to $200, and we had very small turnout, and so we only spent $30. So if you're not for sure of how much you're going to need, that's totally fine. It's better to overestimate on that as well too, like what I did. So
I have something else to add. I'm just putting the application in the chat really quick. For anybody who wants to take a look at it, it's really simple. And as Allison and Jen mentioned, we're more than happy to help answer any questions or walk you through the process. But while the park sector only has almost their entire amount, you can partner with some of the other sectors of the KCPA plan. If there's a project that aligns with more than just the parks group. So if there's an after-school program and you want to partner with the school sector, it increases your opportunity for more funding. So just throwing that out there.
That's an excellent point. We're gonna start the awkward silence. We'll last 10 seconds.
I can keep going. I have some more updates. I think Natalie and I both do to share just some of the other things that we're excited to let everybody know about. So we, as the Kansas City Healthy Lifestyles Collaborative, as part of the KCPA plan, the media and communication sector, have launched our new physical activity campaign called Move Together KC. And we are currently, so the mission is to encourage physical activity and promote healthy lifestyles for everybody in the Kansas City region. We would love to get everyone involved by asking you to share your personal story about why you move. And you can either submit a written or video request. The other part about this is that we'll be using some of the stories shared with us and highlighting them in our social media. So this doesn't include just the individual, but also the organizations. And if you're interested, I will post the link in the chat. If you have any questions about it as well, please feel free to message me. We're just getting started. I will probably go ahead and hand it off to Natalie to talk about another project we're working on. And in the meantime, we also have a Facebook and Instagram. I will post that in the chat in a second. We would love if you follow us. Okay, Natalie.
Sure. Some of you might be familiar and you've helped us with this project, but we're doing a project play report with the Aspen Institute, and we're going to be their 15th project play community. They are actually visiting right now in Kansas City, so they're talking with coaches and teachers and youth, whether they're in sports or not, and discussing what sports they play, how are they physically active, where do they participate in physical activity, do they enjoy their coaches, how do their parents support them in their sport, and they're going to make recommendations in a report to help us improve equity and accessibility to sports and physical activity opportunities for youth in Kansas City. So we're really excited they're here. I've really been enjoying going to the focus groups. I've been to some middle schools. We went and talked to some of our sports med doctor team. We're going to the KCK schools this afternoon. And we're going to be wrapping up our youth survey that I think some of you helped us distribute this fall. It'll be closing at the end of January. And that will also be in the report that they're going to release later this year. They're going to come back to Kansas City this spring in April and host like a community forum where they're going to share kind of what they've been hearing and finding in their reporting so far, and then have more group discussions on solutions and strategies to attack that moving forward.
And some of you guys were at the Kansas City Metro Programmers Group, and I stood up and talked about this a little bit as well. And I know Jason, your group got your own unique link. The cool part was we each got our own unique link to share with youth for the survey, and then we get to analyze that data directly. It's all anonymous, so there are no names collected or anything, just ages and then what they want to see. So this survey has already helped us develop new programming for this year. We're in the process of adding martial arts because that's what a lot of the kids here said that they wanted. And then we've also shared with some of our other groups within the district for other programs that said that they wanted. And some of these are older programs that we used to offer, but we stopped because of low enrollments. But now we're hoping to revive those and make a comeback with some of those older programs. So it's been a huge beneficial survey process so far.
Yeah, I'll just say that we've got our own link and we're looking to use that information to decide on some youth sports programs as well.
If anyone would like their own link for their organization that doesn't have one, I could set that up. I can put my email in the chat here. We're trying to tell a representative story of our 6-county metro area, but we're still currently featuring just a few counties more than the others. So any help with survey distribution to kids would still be helpful.
And then
All right.
hopefully, I was gonna say, hopefully in the future, once we get all the survey data collected, sorry, Jen, we can come back and share that at one of our monthly meetings as well. So that way you guys can also hear what's trending, what do kids want, what's hip and cool these days. Okay, that's it, Jen. I'm done. I'm gonna give you the wheel.
I was just gonna ask for any more updates. And then it looks like we might be ready to close out the meeting, talking about our next meeting. It'll be Wednesday, February 28th, same time, 12 p.m. You can find that information on the website and register for that, and we'll be sure to get that information out. I did see an email come through just before we started our meeting that our topic, our theme for the month is nature. And Allison, I don't know if you want to talk about our presenter a little bit.
Yeah. So if you guys have heard of Wilderness, go ahead and put a thumbs up in the chat box. So Wilderness is a completely, I don't even know all the good things, nature-based. They have women go out and do, like, they've done shooting at shooting ranges, archery, they do group hikes, but they have a huge following. Absolutely love this group and what they're doing. So Jess Rice is the creator of Wilderness, and so she is going to come out and talk about that. And she's also going to talk about how different agencies can get involved with that group. So they have gone out and done presentations. They've run programs as well too for different park and rec agencies. So please have any of the folks in your departments that run nature-based programs, share that link with them for next month's meeting, or you yourself should come back. We would love to have you guys again. Thanks, Jen, for popping that on the chat.
Absolutely.
Does anyone else have anything for the good of the group? All right, I'm gonna say that everyone have a wonderful Wednesday. And thank you so much for being on. And again, if you do have any more pickleball questions, holler at your girl Mallory, and she can definitely help you out. Even if you want to get pickleball going, like, she is your go-to guru. So thank you guys so much.
Have a good week.